Hey plebs, welcome to the respawn point.
Welcome to your 13th respawn. We know Monday is your least favorite day, so we're here to help you get back into the game or week.
Respawn Mondays is a show all about some of our favorite games, including PUBG, Battlefront, Overwatch, and Ark. With a changing list as we continue to pick up and drop different games, we are just your average gamers trying to get through the work week with some sweet relaxation playing time. So before you respawn back into the week, take a breather and let's catch you up.
Today we'll be covering the PUBG Desert Map release. Pretty much that's it. It's been what everybody's playing. We're your hosts, Elias Christensen and Nick Berry. So how's your week been, Nick?
Pretty good. We got some snow on, what was that, Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
So got some awesome snow. Not too much happened during the middle of the week last week. This past weekend was pretty exciting. Got snow. Watched the Force Awakens to get ready for the Last Jedi.
Nice.
So I'm all ready. My body is like completely ready to experience this movie. And then yesterday we were at the studio and we built Ethan's computer, so that was fun. So nice 8700K build with a 1070. So that was really fun.
Yeah, super fun. I'm pretty excited because now I bought his parts off of him, so I'm gonna be working on a new PC, and I don't know if that's gonna turn into a streaming PC or like just a PC we can use during the podcast, like something. I just want to get like the smallest case as possible so we could have it up there with us when we're
Oh
live.
yeah.
You know, so be
Oh
interesting.
yeah. How was your week though?
Yeah, pretty good. Like you said, we had some people over yesterday. Had some good food. Had fun building, trying to overclock Ethan's processor. Had
That was a
this.
challenge.
It was, yeah. We're gonna have to look a little bit deeper into 8700 overclocking. Um, yeah, some snow Saturday, but that was pretty chill. Not too much snow or anything. Plus Sunday was so sunny that it did a bunch of work on it.
Yeah, it did.
Um, Other than that, pretty chill week. Got a lot of decent amount of gaming done, I would say.
Yeah, you played a lot of Ark, didn't you?
Yeah. So we 2 days I played Ark, but decent play sessions. Started out playing on the island. We just spawned in tech gear. Just had some fun. Like went and did all the caves that we hadn't done before. Which I'll tell you, even with tech gear, those caves weren't easy. We died with like ascendant tech gear. And so I think like probably the real thing about those caves is just bringing tames and and yeah, bringing beds and like being able to have supplies on you. It's just being prepared. Because even sometimes like this ascendant tech gear that we spawn, we'd spawn in hundreds of them and then pick the best, and it would still get broken by by certain animals. Um, yeah, it was pretty crazy, but it was a lot of fun. And then we beat Broodmother. We spawned in a bunch of Megatherium, which you know what? It's funny as I'm typically like a big official server player. I haven't done a lot of private server play, but one thing that doing like host local or private server play with your friends is you can test things. You can just spawn stuff in, and okay, 7 Megatherium didn't work on the Broodmother. Okay, so how many do we need? And then that's information I can reference on official servers. It's like a good learning experience, which is something I
Yeah.
didn't expect. So actually, I'm going to be doing a lot more of that, I think.
Nice. Awesome. Um, well, so the only game I played this past week was the desert map for PUBG,
Hmm.
which the beginning of the week after the show I didn't really play much because we know the desert map went live. What was it, like really late Thursday night? But it was basic by the time it was like 5 in the morning or something though. So technically it was just Friday.
Mm.
Um, but so ever since it went live on when I say live at the test servers, so I've only been playing the desert map on the test servers. Pretty much. I haven't played like a ton of it, but that's basically all I've played the past week.
Yeah, yeah, I've gotten a bunch. Well, I'd say probably 10 games. I think I've got. I mean, not counting some like super short games or whatever, but
Yeah.
I had a pretty weird game today on the test server. A couple hours ago, I um, so I was in the lobby just waiting, running around in prison, and then my game crashed, and then I tried to get back in, and it put me back in a different lobby.
Hmm.
Um, and then my game froze, and then once it unfroze, I was still on prison, and everybody else had left on the plane. And then there was
That's
loot. There was
interesting.
loot in prison.
No way.
So I just started looting and then ran
Huh.
over, um, got a vehicle, ran to the center, and then actually got down to, I think I was like seventh place or whatever. But then the game crashed again, and I couldn't reconnect to the game.
Huh?
Like they were like, "Oh yeah, that game's gone" or whatever, and it didn't show up in my history
That's really
because
weird.
I've had one other top 10 scenario, um, and it says I've only been in one top 10 scenario, and that was another one because I was in
The
second
game the
place.
game was like you weren't supposed to be there,
I
so you don't
almost
exist anymore.
I almost thought like, am I just like a ghost right now running around? Can anybody even see me? Like,
You're not actually there.
yeah, I someone did shoot at me, but I part of what I thought was maybe it's only because I was driving that car. Maybe they thought, who's in that car? I don't know. It was a weird game.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How how is prison?
It's
Haven't
good.
gone to go there.
It's good. You should go there.
Okay, we'll talk about it more. But I have some interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's interesting where the positions of certain things are.
Yeah. Yep.
What else have you been playing?
I got into a little CS:GO, a little Overwatch this week. Just sort of playing around, keeping up with them. I just play some arms race on CS:GO, and then play some, arcade modes on Overwatch. Um, been getting into. Oh, I played a little bit of Moira in Overwatch. That was fun. She's pretty OP, I find.
Nice.
And other than that, yeah, pretty much just
Cool.
PUBG and Arc.
All right. Well, all right, we'll actually talk about the desert map then. Um, so the big news was during the game show awards on Thursday night, which was oh boy, the 7th, I think. Um, they announced they had a brand new trailer for PUBG along that showed the desert map, and then they also had a live action trailer, which was pretty funny actually.
Hmm.
Um, and then so during the gameplay reveal trailer for PUBG, they gave us, obviously we knew that the Xbox version was coming out December 12th, but then right in the trailer they gave us a date for when the live or when the this 1.0 release is going to hit live, and that's going to be December 20th. So we have a set in stone date. They're not going to just spring it on us. They have a set date that they probably had in mind, maybe going into this month. Um, and so, along with that, we know the test servers were up from Friday until Sunday. And just today, they announced on their Twitter that the test servers are going to stay up until the servers go live.
Hmm.
So that's really nice. You don't have to be like, oh man, like I think they did it maybe as a little treat, but also because they know like everyone's waiting for it, and no one. I think the numbers have been down for the normal, maybe
Yeah.
not down, but they know so many people are like playing the test servers. They're like, we're just gonna leave it up there until this bad boy goes live.
Yeah. Well, it's more testing for them. It's more bug reports getting sent to them. More data. It's useful. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, I mean today or yesterday, I was thinking like, I don't know if I want to go back to playing. I mean, not that I don't want to play on Erangel, but I want vaulting.
Yeah.
And
No,
there's
I agree.
there's so many changes. Plus, I still want to practice with the new weapons that we're getting. Like
Yep.
I don't think I've gotten a kill with any of the new weapons on the desert map, just with AKs pretty much. Um, so yeah, I want to practice with all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. I was thinking like with all the changes in vaulting and all the HUD changes, like I don't want to go back. Like it's not even just a desert map, but like I do want to try Erangel with all the changes now.
Yeah,
Like I'm really interested to see how that will, because obviously they've had the changes in on that map, but I didn't play nearly as much as the desert map because it's the desert map. But there's just so many changes. Like I'm actually interested to see like how the game will play out on that map now. Obviously with vaulting,
mm.
with with everything. I'm like actually really excited.
It's funny to see as well with this new map. Just thinking about the changes, and obviously we'll get more into this, but um, the buildings have been designed with vaulting in mind. Like the windows are lower, like not that you can't vault through those tall windows, but you think about it more. Like you see a low window and you're like, "Oh, I could just vault that and go right in." And
Dude, like vaulting is actually like really amazing.
it is, yeah. Once you get used to it, you're like you start thinking about it and like, okay, stop using doors because people can
Yeah,
hear that.
exactly. Yeah, because to counter that, there's a lot of windows will break. All the windows will break, obviously, but some either you've already been through or they don't have windows. So there's a
Yeah.
level of stealth involved rather than opening a door.
Yeah, or I mean, even if you didn't want people to know where you're coming from, and maybe there is glass on that window, you could shoot it out from a distance, or you could um, blow it up with a grenade, and then still be running around. Like there's still close quarters, um, skilled gameplay around that, like where you wouldn't have to make a noise going through the window. You can make the noise earlier and outplay the
Yeah,
person.
definitely. Yeah, there's way more. It's way more involved, and I have to say, like I really like it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but quick little thing about the 12/20 release, December 20th. You're pretty. You pretty much predicted that. You were right on. Because you said they'll have to get
mhm.
it out before Christmas weekend.
Yep. So we should have taken we should have guessed the exact date. We kind of talked about it and said it would have to be that week or
It'd have to be
next
that
week.
week. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't say specific dates. But in my head I was thinking middle of the week, like either Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. So yeah, it's honestly like perfect the way they did it. They're gonna be able to get it out right before the holidays and the end of the year obviously. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's and honestly, besides, okay, so some of the problems with obviously we know it's a test servers and they're testing it for a purpose. But so far with the map, the only problems are extreme rubber banding in like the first like 2 minutes of every match.
Yep.
I have to say I played a match with Connor before the show, and we actually didn't experience any.
Oh wow.
So I think they did they did like a behind the doors kind of update today. I believe their Twitter reported. So that could potentially have something to do with it. Maybe they did some server side update to fix that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the game we played, I didn't experience it in the beginning at all. So that's good news. And hopefully, yeah, no, hopefully for full release, there's no rubber banding because it was pretty, especially if you landed like in Los Leones, which is like the really big city with like all the people and all the loot. It was like really bad for the first 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, and it's really a problem when you land with other people. Like
Oh yeah,
you're fighting to get to a weapon, and they just end up getting there first because of rubber banding, and
yeah, exactly.
it becomes really frustrating.
Yep. And then I think there was something else, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Maybe if I think about it later, I'll mention it. The noble thing here, I forget where they reported it. I should have double checked, but the price of the game is not going to be increasing for full release.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's insane.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I wonder if they'll make paid DLC though, like new maps and stuff or game
I
modes,
hope not.
maybe specifically.
I guess I wouldn't feel too bad. Like knowing I only paid $30, maybe I wouldn't mind spending up to $30 more, and then that would be it. But hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they don't do that.
Th-
Hopefully,
then again, if they're gonna be pursuing a microtransaction, or for like just for loot crates for visual items, like skins and stuff,
yeah,
I think that that's fine and probably good that they stayed at $30. Because I mean, what CS:GO? I think CS:GO launched at a higher price. I don't know how much, but now it's $20. I think you can routinely get it for 14 even, or even way cheaper on Steam sales. Um, and they make all their money through skins, and nobody has too big of a problem with that. It's a working model. So maybe they're looking towards that to pursue, maybe like trying to mimic them as an esport model type thing.
yeah, that's very true. I mean, we know like there's a lot of data mine skins that are coming for the desert map, especially
Yeah.
to kind of go with the aesthetic of it. So yeah, if they're gonna continue microtransactions and then even potentially bring in weapon skins, which we don't know, we haven't really nothing concrete has been found. But whether or not they're obviously gonna keep making skins to keep the microtransactions going. Um, so yeah, I mean, it would be if they're going to continue with the microtransactions the way they are, or however, yeah, keeping it at the $30 price point might be, in gamers' minds or buyers' minds might be a little, might go over a little bit better. Especially, obviously, we know all the backlash with around Battlefront 2 and EA. Obviously, it's a much different microtransaction system. It is something maybe it would make the player feel better if okay, I only spent $30 on this game. Now I don't feel as bad spending money on microtransactions. Maybe that's a factor in it.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I mean, even like because what Overwatch launched at $60, right?
Uh, I don't know. Part of me
Okay,
thinks that
well,
that was a collector's edition,
okay,
or
maybe because I bought it came out in May. I bought it in October, which was only 5 months later,
yeah,
and it was $40. The $60 version was like the collector's edition with like a bunch of in-game skins and everything. So maybe that's how it was at launch too.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Overwatch base price. I'm looking at an article from November 6, 2015, off Kotaku. It says base price will be 40, $60 on consoles. So I think maybe because it was on console, it's just a standard price.
Hmm.
So yeah, the base game was 40, and then I think yeah, like the Origin edition or
And
um,
that's fine.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um, and then what? So the PUBG for Xbox, we know it's coming to the. However, Xbox does like their early access games. I forget what it's called. But it's gonna be, I'm guessing $30 again.
hmm
And then they're selling Xbox like T-shirts or like outfits that are like exclusive. Well, obviously exclusive to the Xbox, but also limited time. I think they come in packs, maybe $15 or so. So it's definitely kind of incentive for Xbox players. And if you know you're only spending $20, there you go.
yeah,
Um, but I think it's definitely surprising that they're keeping it at $30, knowing they put so much work into this desert map, and it's going to be, quote unquote, full release. Um, it's interesting to me, and this is kind of like a broad thought, but it's interesting to me that how certain games, it doesn't matter how much you're spending on a game. Some games you can spend, not a lot of money, but you can play the game for a long period of time and spend a lot of hours in it, and then you can buy a game like Battlefront and play it for every now and again, but it's not your main game.
yeah, yeah,
It's like PUBG. Okay, it was only $30 and it'll continue to be $30, but if you get hooked to this game, you can play it so much. Or a game like Battlefront that has so many things wrong with it that kind of deters you from wanting to play it, or you just don't like it in general, and yet you spent the $60. It's just funny how sometimes that works.
yeah. I mean, I think Battlefront's probably a fringe case. Not necessarily like anything wrong with it. I just think that like for some, or according to my theory, I should say, for some games like a lot of console games or single player games like um, Shadow of Mordor or Borderlands, or they may have some replay value, but you're probably only going to play them for 20 to 40 hours,
Yeah,
um, maybe 60. But they cost more money, and game developers put a lot more money into them, I would think, because they're an experience. We put up with a lot of bugs and stuff like that on early access games or on games that we know are always changing, like games that will be around for 10 years. Um, like League, there's always bugs coming up with different things that they introduce, and people put up with it because of the type of game that it is. And
yeah,
on those big experience AAA titles, they would say, um, you wouldn't stand for that, or at least we wouldn't expect to.
yeah, yeah. I think it's interesting sometimes. I mean, you could. It also just goes with brand new games or buy a AAA title are always going to be 60. Most console games are just going to be $60. That's the price point.
Yeah.
But I mean, that goes along with even say bad games. No one will justify spending $60 on a game they think is bad. And it's kind of subjective, anyways. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, PUBG is relatively simple, I suppose, in its content, but it's one of those games that it will keep you playing for like a long period of time. And to me, that's interesting. That for an example, like Battlefront One didn't have a lot of content. Granted, I spent a lot of time in that game, but I don't know. I guess PUBG is kind of like a unique thing where like it's literally um, it's so popular just because the genre is so popular right now, and it's kind of one of those things that it's you know people can bash on PUBG all day because of its crazy bugs and its problems, and yet so many people still play it.
Yeah, those people who are complaining are still playing it.
Right,
They're just being
right.
overly vocal about their issues. I mean,
So
we are too. We do a show about it.
yeah, that's true. All right. We kind of mentioned it, but there's three new weapons that are exclusive to the desert map. They will not carry over to Erangel, and those weapons are the Winchester 1894. I think in game, I forget what it's listed in game. Is it the Winchester 94?
I think
Something
so.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the R45 revolver and a double barrel sawed-off shotgun. Now, the interesting thing about all these weapons are very different, and they kind of fill a niche role, I feel.
Yeah.
Um, the Winchester 94 is a lever action, it's like an old rifle, but it doesn't take any attachments. It takes a 45 caliber. And I've found that this weapon is it's not hard to find. It's almost like an early game sniper
Yeah.
where late game it's not going to have any use really, but early into mid game you could use this thing and have really good success, I feel. Especially if you're able to use the iron sights effectively. It does medium damage, but against like level one, even level two, it does like fairly well. The drawbacks, obviously, besides not being able to take a sight or anything, is that the reload speed is really slow because you have to manually load all 8 shots. But the lever action is fast, so like you'll shoot and then it's not like the Car 98 where it takes a really long time to do the bolt action. It's probably like half the time, I would say.
I'd say it's similar. It's similar to the pump action shotgun delay.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good comparison. And to me, this is like my favorite thing. It's like it's not gonna be like the most. I don't know if effective is the right word. I think it's just the idea that it takes more skill, but it's more rewarding.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm like in love with it.
And it's high damage. So I mean, sometimes you can shoot like a person with a pistol 3 times right off the bat. Like think about dropping at school or something, and they don't die, and then they punch you in the head and you die. Whereas with this gun, if you can hit a headshot, they're going to die.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to get better with it. I haven't had a chance to use one in game yet. Like I always,
Really?
Well, yeah, I always get it, and then
Oh, okay.
I'm, running around. I think I might have tried it once, but I haven't gotten a
I
kill
just
yet.
I just force myself to use it.
Yeah, that's what I should have been doing. But I get greedy, and I come across the Car 98, and then I come across an AK, and I'm like, well, I should really switch to those if I want to win.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. But yeah, no, I think it's awesome. And then okay, so the R45 revolver is unique because you load all 6 shots at once, so you don't have to. And it's not like the old revolver on Erangel, where you have to load one, singly, and it takes forever. So you load all 6 at once. And I've gotten it, but I haven't actually used it, so I'm not exactly sure. How strong it is. It does use a 45 caliber as well.
I used it. I'd say it's probably comparable. Might be a little bit stronger than a 1911, but comparable.
Okay.
Because we were playing a game together yesterday with Connor and with Jake, I think.
Yep.
And I shot a guy, I think twice with it, and he didn't die. So, but
So
who knows? There's lots of bugs in game. I don't know the exact damage. I could look that up, but I don't know.
okay. But either way, I mean, it's a cool new gun, handgun in the game, and it's a lot better than the past revolver. So, and then the double barrel sawed off. This takes up a secondary gun slot, aka a handgun slot. So you can be having your two primaries. You can have your AR. You can have your sniper, and then you can also have this double barrel sawed off, which is awesome because sometimes you don't always want to trade off your AR or a sniper for a shotgun for clearing buildings, and now you can. The drawbacks, obviously, because of that, there has to be some type of drawback with the weapon itself, and I find the reload speed is only a two shot. Obviously, it's a double barrel. The reload speed is really slow in comparison to even the other double barrel. Um,
Yeah.
and then the damage, I think that the pellet spread is like a lot wider than the other shotguns, but up close it can still one shot. I'm like fairly certain because this guy, I was pretty low, and so he only one shot me obviously because I was super low.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was on the ground, he used his second shot on me, and it killed me instantly. So I'm
Okay.
thinking, obviously he must have gotten some head and some chest in there, and he was close enough. So I think if you're close enough, it can still one shot.
Okay. Sounds good.
So from a little bit farther away, it's going to be definitely not as good, but it's still, I think it's really unique having the option to carry a shotgun for your third slot.
Yeah. And I'm looking up the damage stats for all these new weapons on the Wikipedia, and nothing.
They're
It's
not up
not
yet.
list. It's not listed yet. Yeah, people haven't
Yeah.
figured it out.
Yep.
So that'll come
Um,
soon enough.
yeah, it's still in the test server. People haven't been able to get that not squared away yet.
Yeah.
In light of that, though, or kind of in relation to it, I was able. If anyone knows, and if you don't know, if you go to PUBGmap.io and just Google that, or type it into as a URL, it will open up an interactive map for PUBG. I'm sure most of you know for Erangel, it works really great. It tells you, where all the car spawns are, where all the loot areas are, if it's like a high loot area, if it's a medium, where there's a high chance of a gun. And so that application or that website has already started a Miramar, the desert map one, and there's a lot of car spawn, potential car spawn locations because those are easy to square
Mm.
away. So I would imagine, every day I think it updates and there's more and more stuff. I think there's like two of the little purple star bubbles for the high gun, gun chance. So you can use that, and obviously I think it'll continually get more and more as people get accustomed to the map.
So yeah, I'm actually showing it on stream now, and I'm only seeing one purple star on Miramar. Um, oh no, wait, yeah, there's two. There's one at
There's two.
yeah, one at Hacienda del Patron. I hadn't seen that
um,
earlier.
yeah, so it was a really good site if you didn't know about it. But yeah, as people get more accustomed to the map, they'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Um, but so what are your thoughts of the map, kind of in general,
Um,
Elias?
I think that for some reason I'm probably not right, but it seems like the map is bigger. And I mean, technically there is more landmass, but the actual size of the map is the same.
Yeah.
So for some reason, it seems like the first circle takes longer to come in, and I know I'm probably wrong about that, but it's just how it seemed. Like I've been out in trailer park or ruins, and just like for like 5 or 10 minutes, just looting, 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 not dying, and then finally the thing passes me, or whatever. It just yeah,
Hmm.
it just seems like a massive map, and you don't see anybody, but I know it's the same size. So I think just especially during test, people have been going to the high loot areas like Los Leones. I've dropped at Hacienda del Patron like twice. I died both times, but I really want to look at that area because it looks really cool and it's got that high loot chance. So
Yep. Um, anything else?
um, no, I mean a lot of fun to drive around with some of the new vehicles. But other than that, like sometimes seeing people against like the different colors and terrain seems like a little bit harder for some reason. It's probably just because I'm
Really?
not. It's probably just because I'm not used to it.
I
But
almost find it easier.
there's just so much like for some reason because of the verticality, like I feel like there's more to look around at.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, I agree. It definitely does feel bigger. Um, I don't obviously, Erangel is an island, so it's more, there's more water taking up some of the map.
Mm,
But even like in the center of the map, it just feels. I think part of it is just not being very unfamiliar with it. We know Erangel so much. We've been to, pretty much every single building, like even the tiny ones, so we know exactly where we are. Like, oh, I've been here before. That this one just feels so unfamiliar. We kind of don't have a grasp of our surroundings. And I feel like once we do, it won't feel as big.
yeah.
Like, oh, hey, like I'm in, say Picado, which is like the center of the map. Like I know like Power Grid is right near me. Like all this stuff is right near me. It won't feel as expansive. I mean, that's kind of just a guess, but I think this is my thought on it. I know a lot of people obviously love it because I think it's awesome, personally too. But I think a lot of it is just PUBG has been built on one map
Yeah.
up to this point, and that's how people learn the game with the map. Now at this point, so many people know the game and are good at the game, accustomed to the game, and you're now thrown into this completely different environment, different map, different buildings that it just feels so different because PUBG was built on one map that now people kind of have they feel it's bigger than it really is. Now I could be wrong, but I do think it's like people just aren't used to not knowing where stuff is
Yeah.
because when you first played the game, you didn't understand all the mechanics yet, and you didn't understand the map. But now you know the mechanics, but you don't know the map. So it's like a very weird feeling I think players are having, and that it's just going to take some time. I think once people learn this map as well as they have with Erangel, I don't think people will feel the same way.
Hmm.
But that's just my thought on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely, it's a whole new scenario. Uh, I don't know the lay of the land. I'm always looking at the map. Like I feel like I'm always looking at the map. Like, okay, where is that? What's that next to? Like,
Oh
just
yeah,
the road system seems like there's more roads and like a lot
yep.
of turns you can take and um sometimes going off road. Like on Erangel, I always go off road. I almost never go on the roads unless it's like relatively easy. But on Miramar, I stay on the road because sometimes you can't go off. Like it's way too like that
It's way
cliff's
too
too
steep.
high. Yeah, it's too steep. So um yeah, it puts you in a whole new feel. Like you're always faced with something new.
Yeah.
Um
I think it's like crazy. Like it is definitely different than Erangel, where I think and maybe this has to go. It goes into why people feel like they never see people as much, and I think it's just because there's way more big towns that has good loot compared to the last map. Like last map, okay, you have military base, you have prison. If the plane goes over there, you have school, Roshawk, even like Watertown, apartments, like that cluster in the center
mhm.
where like almost everyone goes. Obviously, you have Georgia Pole in the top left.
Yeah.
This map, there's so many big named towns, and maybe it's even the fact that people don't know exactly where the highest loot is yet. But I do think like I've never gone to a town and been like, oh, there's nothing here.
I've gone to a few places and it's relatively low chance. Like graveyard in the sort of in the middle of the map, not a ton of loot there. And then ruins and trailer park as well. Like I mean, but obviously that's tiny buildings, tiny stuff. There's not you wouldn't expect to see a ton of loot
Right.
out there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, what I wanted to ask though was because you were talking about prison earlier.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
How so now prison and military base are noticeably at the edges of the map.
Yeah.
Whereas in the last game, they were kind of like obviously military base at the bottom, but they were very key central type of areas. Obviously, school was in the very middle. That now both of those places have been pushed to the edges.
Yep.
I forget exactly my question, but it was more of like a acknowledgement of like I don't know, like I haven't been to either of those places yet.
Yeah.
It's almost I think it goes into like how unfamiliar the map feels, where it's not like there's another school that you go to almost or a school or prison that you go or not prison military base that you go to almost every single game.
Yeah.
It kind of forces you to pick like okay, like we know like okay, Los Leones is a really big city and we're gonna find good stuff there,
Hmm.
but that's not to say any of the other major cities aren't gonna have the same type of gear. It's almost just not a given where you go, whereas in the last game it kind of was.
Yeah. Like
In the last game, last
you
map.
knew where on Erangel you knew where to go to have the type of game that you wanted to have. Like if you wanted to have high action, high loot, potentially short game, you go military or school. But if you wanted to have a, sort of a longer game, you can always go just off one of those things. Like potential for a longer game if you go to apartments versus school, or Zarki as opposed to Georgia Pole. Um, and you could, once you saw where your plane was, you can determine where you want to go. Whereas with this, yeah, I have no idea. I just pick where, I mean, because we're only a couple days in, I pick something we're flying over because I just want to get to the ground first before anybody else.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and but as far as my experience at prison, something that's interesting about the map, I mean, A, the loot's very good. B, the buildings are huge. Like they have so many nooks and crannies that like my looting style, like I want to check every room and it doesn't work. Like like I can't do that because I'll just spend way too long there. Um, the other thing is if you get there and you can't get a vehicle, um, it puts you in a bit of a dangerous spot because
I
okay,
did notice that according to the interactive map, there's only a few car spawns on the island.
yeah, I mean, what is it? What does it say? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on that main island, but they're not all gonna be there.
They're not. Yeah,
And
exactly.
someone else could have taken one. Someone else could have, shot one. It's not a ton. And the scary part about it is if the circle's coming in and you don't want to take the bridge at Valle del Mar because maybe there's some people camping it. It's more popular. The other option is you have to go through Los Higos. You have to walk through Los Higos, go over another bridge, and then over another bridge. And those will be less populated, but it's also right at the bottom of the map. Like you're not working towards the center when you do that.
Yeah.
Like you're almost guaranteed to be out of circle. So it's almost like it's
Hmm.
it's almost less than
So,
rewarding, it seems like. But I did get good loot, so I can't complain.
so you would imagine there's really good loot there, considering it's at the bottom of the map,
Yeah,
and like you just pointed out, there's only two ways off, and one of them is really they're both really far away from each other.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And if you don't have a vehicle, you're almost screwed. Like, never mind to jump off the cliff. It's not like you can walk into the water and swim across that river. You have to jump off that cliff, and you're not guaranteed to land in the water. You might land on rock, and hurt yourself, kill yourself possibly.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's pretty treacherous. I haven't been to military base. I'm assuming that's going to be easier almost. Um,
yeah. Like, just take a vehicle up there.
yeah, you'll see the small town next to prison, Minas del Sur. That's sort of like imagine like a quarry scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, couple of buildings. Um, didn't seem like it had that good a loot.
Okay.
I think that's probably going to be a medium loot area. Um, and
Okay.
then prison be a high. But yeah,
Um.
prison did seem pretty good.
Yeah. I just want to correct myself from earlier. I got prison and school mixed up so many times. There is no school on this map.
There's no school yet.
And I was referring to prison and I kind of got it mixed up with the school, and so I kind of got mixed that up, but there's no school, so I guess prison could be considered a replacement, and that's at the edge of the map, so it's still really different. It's complete. I like it because it's different. If it was like, I think I don't know if I don't know what people expected, but say like this map was like Erangel, almost identical but desert, it wouldn't be as fun.
No, no, they need and even on subsequent maps, they're going to need to change the gameplay by map design each time, I think. Like, I think what would be pretty cool is if maybe the next map is mostly water, or at least at some point in the future we get a map like that where you know, obviously there's a couple more islands you can go to, so, you know, water play is more encouraged, but I think like a map with like a bunch of islands, like think of like a sort of like imagine like Hawaii or off the Florida Keys scenario, um, where you'd be, you know, always driving around. But yeah, I think changing the gameplay with map design is key. And yeah, it wouldn't have been as fun if they didn't do it.
Yeah. Yep. Um. Okay. I think we can go over. I just was thinking Bluehole in PUBG Corp. They posted on their on their blog and under the news section a whole list before the map came out of all the lists of the towns, most of the big towns, and kind of give it a little mini description. I figure maybe we could just highlight a couple. Um, for example, El Pozo is a city known for its large industrial and entertainment districts. Players can test themselves against all corners in the Lucador Arena, put their motorcycle skills to the test in the Death Bowl, or hunt in the ruins of the long dead textile factories. Um, so yeah, that's. I think I just dropped there. Maybe last game was it?
Oh yeah.
It's very possible because there was like it was like a boxing arena, so maybe it's a little bit different, or maybe that is it. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's so new. Do you want to hit up one or two?
Yeah. What do you think? Via del Mar? Or
Sure.
okay. Via del Mar is a colorful oceanside town bisected by the Del Toro Bridge. To the west of the bridge is a quaint school, and to the east a beautiful church. The key to holding this town is bridge control, as it's the only direct route between mainland and the island. Which,
And that was
yeah,
that's the one right after prison.
yeah, and that rings true. If you were to bridge camp there, you'd be, and you knew a lot of people went in prison, you'd be in a powerful position.
Hmm, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we got San Martin is located just south of Hacienda del Patron.
Hmm.
That's Spanish. Checkpoints and barriers have transformed this once quiet small town into a war zone. Both sides of the town have overlooks, so careful players should scout first before charging into town.
Hmm.
I'm trying to find that on the map.
Yeah.
I can't find it. It's. All right, you do another one.
Okay. Chuma Serra, I think. Chuma Serra is a husk of Miramar's once thriving textile industry. Long abandoned factories overlook a main road lined with residential and commercial buildings. Verticality in both the buildings and terrain make this town an exciting location to loot, high risk, high opportunity.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I haven't had a chance to go up in those high buildings yet. In really any tall building, so I'm excited to get into that probably later tonight.
So I would
Um,
I would assume based off of that, especially even Picado says high value loot. I would assume both of these towns are going to be like red circles on the map and making it like a high loot area.
yeah, yeah.
If if they're saying that themselves.
If they're saying it, yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, no, the last game I actually dropped Picado, and that's the one with like a boxing arena type thing. I think it's also where the casino is. So
Ah,
that town is pretty fun. Um, it's definitely that's the one like right in the middle of the map almost.
yeah.
So
You know what's pretty interesting is like I want those type of descriptions for Erangel now.
that'd
I don't know if they're out there, but I want to read those.
be good.
Yeah.
Um, how high have you placed so far on the desert map?
Well, like I said, I was in seventh place before I got disconnected in that ghost game. But I know I have one top 10 scenario. I don't know what player I was. It might have been ninth or 10th. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
I think the high I played a solo. It was maybe like my second game. or maybe my first. I'm not sure. I placed like fifth. Um, I got I don't know one or, no, I got 3 kills that game, and the guy with the SKS just I couldn't see where he was, and he got me. So far, obviously, with the limited amount of games we played so far, it's always ended for me, at least in not a city. It's always been like kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, kind of on the outskirts of a town or
Yeah,
up in a mountain.
and for me, at least that game, it was like actually like it was out in the it was in the open, but at the same time like there was a lot of different terrain to hide behind, or even like little um type trees, whatever desert trees they're called.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I felt like pretty good about my position. Obviously, I should have just been more behind cover, but it's not like there wasn't any. Where sometimes if Erangel ends like in the middle of a field, you're kind of like it's really flat.
Oh, we placed third yesterday, didn't we? In a duo.
Me and you,
Yeah.
or is that you and
Right?
Jake?
Oh no. Oh no, me and Jake. Yeah, me and Jake placed. Actually, I don't think it was third. I think it was. It might have been third. No, yeah, it might have been third because
Okay,
there were 3 people left in a duo game after we, and I think it was one guy fighting 2. So yeah, I think
okay,
me and Jake came in third.
okay.
So, sorry, I was like, wait, no, I did better than that. So yeah, what were you saying?
um, no, I don't remember.
Okay.
I think that we kind of covered everything for the most part. Um, if anyone's listening and they haven't played the desert map, I don't know why. If you don't know, you can just you have to go into Steam and download the PUBG test server. It's a different download. So go do it. It's stinking fun.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna be focusing like the more I play it now, I'm just gonna be focusing on exploring and
Yeah,
getting familiar with the areas and just trying all the vehicles. Just I don't even probably not even gonna be all that concerned with living.
yeah.
I
No, I
just
mean, like honestly, like I'm excited to like, get some full squads with our friends and stuff and just play because there's so many places I haven't been yet. Like I'm thinking of like obviously we talked about prison, but like even like the whole coastline. I'm like really interested to go to like some of those coastlines, like those cities.
yeah. Yep.
Or even that one I saw that game that you and Jake played, and you landed on the island all the way to the east,
Mm.
and like that was actually you guys like had some good action there. I mean, you died, but
Yeah, we died, but yeah, I mean some people landed with us and we got all of us got weapons quick, so we were at least able to get into some gunplay.
yeah. So, um, yeah. I mean, it's crazy that it's finally here and we've gotten to play it.
Yeah.
Um, I think I guess what we can touch on the vehicles really fast.
Okay.
The buggy and the bike have been reskinned to be more desert like. Like the bike looks more like a dirt bike,
Yeah.
which is cool. There still is a 3-seater, which looks kind of funny, but um, and then the Bronco and then the Volkswagen bus. I think the
Mm.
bus is kind of like we haven't really had something like that before. And then the Bronco, the pickup truck is kind of like a UAZ.
It's kind of like a UAZ, but its suspension is very different. Like
It's very different, yeah.
I was doing like some 180s without even using the handbrake. Like if you I don't know, just like turn quick or put it in reverse and like sort of turn, it'll like slide. It's real.
Hmm.
It's real. It's a lot to handle. So
Hmm.
I'm excited to do it. I want to get a full squad and have people riding in the back
And oh yeah,
of the topless one or whatever.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's gonna be fun.
um, yeah, the Volkswagen bus I drove once. That thing is, I think there's a description probably somewhere, but it's very slow, but it also has the most damage out of any vehicle we've seen. So it's like you can. I think it's really good for kind of like using it as cover. I
Yeah,
would almost like, I don't know how exactly how much health it has. Obviously, it can probably still blow up, but
yeah.
it is like very slow.
It is. I would put a caveat on that because in a game me and Jake were playing, we were driving one, and it's slow, and going up hills with it is incredibly annoying. But if you're going
Yeah.
downhill, like I think it actually has like a weight stat because you start flying. Like we
I
were
could see
going
that being fun.
so fast that I was like scared. I'm like I can't drive this. Like we're gonna go down. So yeah, I mean different scenarios. You know, if you got to go down a hill, could be great.
Could be great.
Yeah.
It does also seat six, so who knows why, but it makes sense because it's a bus.
Yeah, I mean, you
Um,
wouldn't really want it to only seat four. Like, it'd be weird. Like, there'd just be a
it'd be
space in the
weird.
back.
Yeah.
And if there was a space in the back, you'd want to be able to get out of the out of the chairs and walk around or something.
I think I haven't driven I've only driven the bus and the truck, so I haven't. Obviously, I'm assuming the bike and the buggy is very similar. Obviously, with the changes in general, the vehicle changes, they sound different and control differently.
Hmm.
But I don't think there's any true differentiation between the bike and the buggy, map wise. Besides the aesthetic of it.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much the same.
But it's awesome. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think that was it for our impressions of the desert map. It's awesome. I'm excited for it to hit live so everyone can play it, no matter if they're test server or not. Especially for the changes to come to Erangel. And I'm also interested to see how they handle having two maps in the game and how it will choose. So we'll see.
Oh, Metro. Sorry to cut you off there. I think we were just about to go into the news, though, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Metro FTW in the chat mentioned, did you talk about Spartans quitting Arc? No, we didn't. I did see that on YouTube. With Aberrations released tomorrow, and we'll get into this a little bit in the news. Um, I'm probably gonna be planning on covering more Arc next week. But
Okay.
yeah, very interesting. Giant Mega Tribe quit Arc this weekend, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. They said the Spartans Gaming is going to be playing other games like PUBG, Overwatch, and stuff like that. Um, but they cited not only like glitches and dev, lack of response as one of the reasons that they quit, but also that the game's unhealthy for you if you get too addicted to it. Which I mean, they're not wrong. Like if you wanna imprint on a Rex, you have to log in every 4 hours. To get 100% imprint on a Rex, you have to log in every 4 hours for 5 days.
Oh my god.
So and yeah, that's a problem. Like you know, um, but yeah, we'll probably talk more about that next week, Matt.
Okay. So the first part of news, just be some about Battlefront 2 blib here, or blip. We know the Last Jedi season is here. It's in progress, and this Wednesday, which is 2 days from now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, it'll probably be tomorrow, or depends when you listen to it. But Finn and Phasma, according to the EA France Twitter account, will be free, meaning there will be no credit requirement. You won't have to use any of your credits to unlock these heroes. And they have been known to kind of release information earlier, maybe than other EA Star Wars accounts, but they have always been correct. So I would say that it is accurate. The thing I find interesting here is that I was hoping, because we were hoping there wasn't gonna be a credit requirement, but I was thinking, depending which faction you chose, you should get that hero for free. But then the other one is locked, which I'm not gonna complain and say, why are they free? That's stupid. But no, I think it would have made more sense thematically with the Jedi season and picking your side that you would get that hero. Like I picked Resistance, so it would have been cool to get Finn, but not be able to get Phasma because I didn't join that faction. It doesn't make sense, I feel, for me to be able to have Phasma right away because I didn't choose that faction. Um, but I'm not gonna complain either. It's not a
Yeah,
complaint. I'm just saying like
you
that
almost
was my original thought. But now that they're both gonna be free, like okay.
you almost sound a little bit like EA there, Nick. You want to reward players and help them to feel accomplished.
Feel a sense of pride and accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it's cool.
Um,
It's cool that they're free.
yeah, I think it's honestly, I think it's to just keep the heat there, trying not to build any more
Yeah,
heat.
if they didn't do it, they probably would have gotten some pretty negative reviews about it.
Oh yeah, on
Ugh.
top of all the already negative stuff. Okay, moving on to Overwatch. Did you see this at all?
I've seen like little blips, but I haven't really watched a full video on it about the Overwatch League skins.
Yep.
So you're
Um, no, yeah, I was just gonna say in the past, I think during the BlizzCon maybe episode that we did, I did mention that there will be like the team skins available for players, and I didn't have a source, and I wasn't able to confirm. But it is true, and we have more details on that now. The skins will be coming early next year. Everyone will get a chance to get one free skin to maybe depending if it's I don't well, we don't know if it'll be random or maybe we can choose our favorite one. But regardless, they will be using a separate currency system because these teams will be able to monetize their jerseys. Kind of like real life, a team will sell their jerseys, and depending
mm,
who it's through, they'll obviously have a percentage of that share. So this is kind of similar to like Riot Points in League, perhaps, where you're not going to be buying loot crates, you'll be buying this currency, and you can probably use this currency to buy the skins. Um, and so they're called League tokens.
okay.
They'll launch alongside the new skins, obviously, and there's 26. Um, we know there's 21. There's 26 Overwatch heroes for each of the 12 Overwatch League teams. So it's a lot of skins.
Yep.
But it's also the skins that the teams use when they play, so they're already there. But you're able to buy League tokens with real money, and then 50% of that when you buy a skin goes to the team, and then it's something okay. And that was it.
Okay. Yeah, 50% goes to the team.
Yep. That
That's
was
pretty cool.
there was a lot of other written stuff there that didn't really make any sense. Um, but yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, being able to support, your team, and then also being able to support the team financially in a small way
Yeah.
is cool. There was no prices given as to how much they would cost.
Yeah. I would hope. I don't know. I would hope not too expensive. Like if it, you think of like a low end skin for a champion costs about 300 gold, which you would get for getting a you get 250 for a mid tier skin, right? Um, if
I'm
you
not
get
sure.
I think a duplicate of a mid tier skin is 250. Like you get back.
Yeah.
So I would think like I don't know, 250 for a skin would probably be okay. But then if you times that by the amount of, obviously you're not going to buy every team's jerseys for every champion, but
Well, it's also not just it's not gold. It'll be different.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just saying I could see them pricing it similar to the price of a loot crate. If you did the
Okay.
math and converted, you know.
Well, because how much our loot crates like $2,
I think so. You get
and then
there's
depending on
different
how many
deal.
you buy,
Yeah, there's different deals. Yeah.
yeah. I think if you get like, I'm not, I forget. But yeah, I could see maybe I don't know. Like it's hard to tell exactly how much they would want us because you're gonna be buying these league tokens.
Yeah.
So who knows if I would imagine because they're not trying to get like I don't know like a common thing in games to get you to spend more is like say for example like Riot will sell you I forget how much they give you RP wise, but it's almost like just enough where you can buy the skin you want and have half of the amount for another skin.
Yeah.
So like, so it kind of like you don't have enough for two skins, but so you need to spend a little bit more to get another one, and which maybe you won't right away. So like, I don't know if maybe they would do that for this, or if they would be simple and say like, okay, a league token is this much money, and each skin costs one league token. I don't know.
Yeah. No idea, and we're gonna have to wait. I mean, I haven't seen the skins. Have you seen them?
I've seen a couple of them.
A
Yeah,
couple of them. I mean, obviously this is gonna depend on like how much work went into them. If it's just a recolor of
that's true.
an existing skin, I wouldn't really want to pay that much money for
I
it.
think
Yeah,
I think it is a recolor of every character's base skin.
of every color. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Maybe with like some logos on it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think like the team logo. Yeah, I think the team logo is on every single skin.
Okay.
Now the preseason was, I think, maybe last week. And unfortunately, I didn't get to see any of it. But I'm actually I'm thinking about it. I'm interested to see if like players' names are on the back of their characters.
That could be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty sick.
um, did you add this last little thing?
Yeah, I did. So, Jeff Kaplan put out a developers update. They said Winter Wonderland's coming tomorrow, 12/12/17, December 12th. They're going to be having seasonal map changes, so some of the maps are going to get like basically reskins with like snow falling and,
Ooh,
winterized.
that's cool.
Yeah, and then they're going to be having I think last year's arcade game that they had for winter was May's Snowball Offensive, which was on Antarctica. It's going to be available on Black Forest as well as Antarctica this year, and then also they're adding another game mode for Winter Wonderland this year.
Ooh,
I didn't get a name. I didn't hear them name it at all, but basically it's the idea of a boss fight with 5 Mays and 1 Yeti, Winston. So
Winston.
basically you can queue. You don't have to queue as 6 people, but you could queue as 6 people, and essentially you would all play Maze fighting Winston. And if you kill Winston, you win the game. But if
Right.
Winston kills a couple of the Maze, he wins. And he's running.
So you can play it as Winston.
Yeah, so you could play as Winston. Like if anybody ever played the game
Uh,
Evolve, I think
yeah,
that was a game on like PS4 or
yeah.
consoles. It might have been. I think it was cross-platform. Sort of similar to that. Like he's running around getting food. Like he has to eat food, and then once he eats enough food, he gets primal rage, and so then all the Maze are trying to escape basically.
That's
Um,
really cool.
yeah, so I mean, this is gonna be a fun mood. We should definitely try to check it out.
I'm definitely, yeah, definitely. It'll probably bring me back to Overwatch. But no, I'm glad that they did something a little bit different. Like, because I think maybe people are 50-50 on maybe Snowball Offensive. I really like that game mode.
Hmm.
It was definitely different and it was fun. But I'm glad that they did another mode that's new for this, the winter season.
Yeah.
And it sounds really fun. It's like really cool, like thematically.
Yeah, the something about Overwatch that I really like, and I know League does this as well, but the seasonal game modes are so fun. Like I played Lucio Ball so much. Like I played it probably more than I've played Overwatch entirely.
Hmm.
um, it I love the game modes are great.
Yeah. If only Battlefront 2 would take some notes, man. Like they have an arcade, just like offline crap though.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
and
some people
some
like that.
custom game stuff I think as well. Um, you might
Yeah.
not be able to join with people you don't know, but at least you can play with your
No,
friends.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Well, yeah, I should definitely log into Overwatch when that goes out. Maybe I haven't even seen what are the new Winter Wonderland skins.
I they I don't remember. He didn't want to tease, but I know one of them he said is a Hanzo skin that we've been waiting for a while, and it's a
Ooh,
legendary.
ooh.
Yeah,
Because I completely missed the Halloween one,
yeah.
and even the one before that, I
I
forget.
think I got a couple of the Halloween skins, but I don't know. I don't know if I used any of them. That's for sure. I wish I'd gotten the Zarya one. The Zarya one was probably the coolest skin, I think. Like where
Yeah,
she got
yep,
like 80s hair and stuff.
yep. Yeah, I kind of dropped the ball on that one. Um, I can't. I'm surprised that they haven't been like leaked or data mined or anything.
I know it's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised because, or even like teased or anything. Only yeah, the only one that's teased is a Hanzo one. Ooh, it's right here. Oh, it's a mock-up. Never mind.
Oh.
Oh, that'll be really cool tomorrow.
Well, we'll know about it tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Obviously we talked about PUBG, but we always give you guys the latest for the peak players, and it hasn't gone up this time,
Yeah.
which hasn't happened in a while. It hasn't gone up since November 25th.
Well, I wonder if this counts the test server.
It does not.
It does not. So
So I failed to check how many players are playing the test server. But not this Saturday, but the next Saturday will be, it'll be past the 20th, so the full game will be, the full release will be out.
yeah,
So I would assume that Saturday is gonna be, close to our predictions for the month.
yeah. What is it? The 23rd, I think.
23rd is that Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I would suspect as well. We're gonna be definitely passing 3 million. I think getting
Yeah,
up to 3.5.
because I'm pretty sure the test server is like on like the top 10 list of most played Steam games. So,
Wow.
so once those two numbers combine, it's gonna be over 3 million.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yep. Um, and then yep. So you said we'll talk about more about Arc next week.
I just accidentally threw my pen. God.
uh,
Yeah, so we have a couple mysterious mysteries that we haven't gone over on the show. Just we've been talking about Battlefront and PUBG so much. So I figured next week we can go through those. I'm hoping to get into an aberration server tomorrow, or I'll probably do it tomorrow. But definitely trying to get some private server play on it because the official ones are just going to be flooded with um, alpha tribes just taking over. But it's going to be interesting. We'll probably outline all the new items because there's 50 new items you can make on Aberration, so that's pretty exciting. So yeah, we'll have a full impression and a little bit of a rundown of everything that's happened next week, I think.
awesome. All right, so polls and trivia this week. We have a question for you guys. We want to know, for those of you who have played the desert map, and hopefully by the time you see this question on Twitter, you'll have played it. Maybe we'll run this one a little long for past full release to get some results in there. But the question is, which map do you like better, Erangel or Miramar for PUBG? And then we also, if you want, you can comment why, and that'll be up on our Twitter at Respawn Mondays. So cast your votes. Obviously, we know the desert map is still very new, but from what you've seen so far, I think it'll probably be lopsided. But give us your opinions. And then we have our level up section where you can send us some sweet community questions or experiences. This week we don't have any, but if you send us an email at respawn.mondays@gmail.com, we will have something to go over. So just consider that for next week. Okay, guys. You can find Respawn Mondays on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Respawn Mondays. We're live every Monday at 8 p.m., and you can also find our podcasts anywhere where you find podcasts at Respawn Mondays. And if you find us there, you can also leave us a review on iTunes, and that will greatly help us, and you can leave us some feedback. You can find me personally at NikkiGirl7 on Twitter or NikkiGirl Gaming on YouTube. And yeah. What about you, Elias?
You can find me at Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube under Tolmaeth, Tolmaeith. Streaming pretty regularly. Definitely doing Borderlands 2 streams on Sundays. I missed this week, but me and Cooper are keeping at that. And then PUBG during the week, sometimes some Arc or random other games on the weekends.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us this week. And we'll catch you next week. And so thanks for respawning with us.
All right. We'll see you next week.